So here we are, not even a week later, on February 19th, stealing alcohol from the Norway Quick Stop.
I am an American non-citizen national that's defined in the United States Code. And I do believe that underneath copyright, once my name is copyrighted through the Daily News, once I put that copyright on your paperwork, that's something called copyright impoundment. That means that under Erie Railroad versus Tompkins, the fictitious entity under due process of law does not apply to my sui juris living being. I don't understand how I can tell you that I'm an American national and you can hold me in a county jail under bond, especially today when I was arrested on a larceny under $200. Somebody changed case prefixes and the warrant got dropped to a misdemeanor. And now you're still going to illegally hold me in a county jail under.
So, we've got a guy back in court just a week after his last hearing. He was released on bond but decided to steal alcohol from a store soon after. Now, he's in front of the same judge, who seems fed up with him. The judge's reaction is something else. What do you think? He broke his bond already. Should he get another chance or stay locked up to stop stealing? If you enjoy content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it.
All right, people of the state of Michigan versus Drew James Peltola, files 247831 SM and file 247819 SM. Mr. Peltola appears from the Dickinson County Jail. Counsel
appellation known as Drew James Peltola appears before you as an entity.
Hold on a minute. Just let me make the appearances, and I'm going to give you the floor, okay? In regard to the matter, Nancy Schaub is here as both his counsel on the underlying file on 247819 SM, as well as the first bond violation. She's here as CAFA counsel on bond violation number 2 in this file, as well as a new file of 7831 SM. Kristen Cass is here on behalf of the prosecutor's office. Drew Peltola, I'm going to give you an opportunity now to say whatever you want to say. Go ahead.
Ma'am, I was trying to get a ride to court this morning. This bond violation.
Wait, sir. I don't want you to talk about the underlying charges. I wanted you to say whatever you wanted to say. I thought you started to say some sovereign citizen information that you wanted to make a record of.
I am an American non-citizen national that's defined in the United States Code. And I do believe that underneath copyright, once my name is copyrighted through the Daily News, once I put that copyright on your paperwork, that's something called copyright impoundment. That means that under Erie Railroad versus Tompkins, the fictitious entity under due process of law does not apply to my sui juris living being.
This guy tried the I copyrighted my name trick to get out of trouble, thinking it would help. He believes if he owns his name, the government can't use it in legal papers. He thinks courts are businesses and the legal system is just contracts. This idea has been proven wrong many times, but he still believes it. Does he really think it will work, or is he just clueless? I can't tell.
Is there anything else you'd like to state for the record concerning this issue then, Mr. Peltola?
No, there's not, Your Honor. I would just like to be released again on a PR bond. You have expedition charges. I'm asking the courts to please release me on a PR bond again, and I'll continue to abide by court rules and stay off of drugs and try to maintain my court dates.
All right. In regard to the matter then, Mr. Peltola, I have an advice of rights and plea, and for the record, I will acknowledge your comments, that your objections in respect to the court's jurisdiction and whatnot are noted for the record. All right, concerning the matter then, I have some concerns regarding Mr. Peltola. He seems to be on a spiral. This started with a disorderly drunk on February 4th in a public place. I saw him on February 5th. I set his bond terms. I saw him back on February 12th, with a .236 on a preliminary breath test. I set bond at that time on the bond violation and the underlying. And the reason I told him then that I was going to give him the break is that normally I see people in between, they get arraigned, I give them the warning, and then they come back on a bond violation. He had not had the warning in between because he violated his bond so quickly that I saw him all at once. So I told Mr. Peltola at that time that I would set the bond at a 1,000 PR, but understand that if he came back again, he would leave me no opportunity or new choice. So here we are, not even a week later, on February 19th, stealing alcohol from the Norway Quick Stop. involving another bond violation as well as a new underlying charge that I'm free to assume is true for purposes of setting bond. So for purposes of setting bond today, then for the following reasons, and in regard to his Wisconsin matters, very serious matters, he's got 2 felonies pending in Brown County from 2023. The first one alleges possession of narcotic drugs, a felony, possession of a controlled substance on or near certain places with a modifier, carrying a concealed knife, possession of drug paraphernalia. That case has been pending through for quite some time. And he has a court date for a status conference scheduled for February 26th at 11 a.m. Then, so the date of this offense was filing date of 2/10 of 2023. He's got a filing date of March 15th of 2023 in Brown County, another felony alleging bail jumping as well as possession of drug paraphernalia. Likewise, that has a court date at the same date and the same time as the other pending felony.
I think that is part of the other pending felony. They charge it as a separate offense, but
It's a separate case, total separate case, total separate charges, total separate bond, total separate court dates. This is file 23 CF 448. The first one is 23 CF 240. So in respect to the matter, my point being for purposes of setting bond, Mr. Peltola has some substance abuse issues going on. He's got numerous cases pending in Wisconsin as well as now here. In regard to the matter, Mr. Peltola, I'm going to direct you to talk to your lawyer. I'm setting bond concerning the new theft case. Then the conditions are going to be as follows. Mr. Peltola may not enter into the Norway Quick Stop as a condition of his release. He is not to purchase, possess, or consume alcohol or non-prescribed controlled substances. Mr. Peltola is subject to random PBTs and drug screens. Mr. Peltola may not go in any businesses that sell alcohol for use inside, such as bars and taverns. Recreational and medicinal marijuana use and possession are prohibited until or unless further order of the court. Conditioned on him signing that waiver of extradition, which I do have in the file, I will allow him to go back and forth to Wisconsin for purposes of court hearings and or meeting with his attorney.
Why isn't the judge being stricter with this guy? He clearly doesn't respect the law, stealing from stores and trying to copyright his name. People like him are a danger because they break laws and refuse to be held responsible. Letting him out over and over again is risky, especially if he keeps doing the same thing. Should he stay in jail with no bond, or am I missing something? Let's talk about it.
If
in residency, he lives in Wisconsin.
in residency, no, he lives in Vulcan, or he says Vulcan. Is that just your
Bracketed.
mailing address?
Yes, we can do it like that if you choose to.
Well, where is your residency?
My
Well,
residency and my domicile is 1968 River Street. We can switch it with a mailing address to W43, the apartment 13 in Vulcan, Michigan. The address should be in there. It should be bracketed.
Right, and that's apartment 13. You didn't put that on there though. Apartment 13?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's your mailing address though?
Yes, but the problem is that building's not registered anywhere. I had to go to the post office and I had something mailed and they told me that my mail was being returned and because there's no actual mailboxes in the building.
All right, so I got 2 issues I need to deal with here. One, do you live in Wisconsin? Do you have to go to Wisconsin for purposes of residency or just your court stuff?
My mailing address, my residency, and my domicile are all registered at my mother's house. There was some unexplained events that I will not say out loud.
I don't know where your mother's house is, Mr. Peltola.
Ma'am. Address.
River Street, Niagara, Wisconsin, 54151. My mailing address will be W45. That's the Norway or the Vulcan address. I can't remember that off the top of my head.
All right. So in regard to bond, then condition on him signing a waiver of extradition, I'll allow him to go back and forth between Michigan and Wisconsin for residency, court appearances, meetings with his attorney. In regard to the matter, if you relocate for any reason, you must provide the court with an updated address and phone number within 7 days of any change. concerning the amount of the bond on the new retail fraud. I'm going to set that. I'm going to set that at 1,000 cash surety, 10%. In regard to the newest bond violation, then I'm finding for both of them, actually, I'm going to make a record based on the factors the court is required to consider under MCR 6.106, considering the frequency, the charges, the dates that I have mentioned, as well as the ongoing Wisconsin matter. I am finding that to release him on a personal recognizance bond would not adequately ensure public safety. In regard to the bond violation, concerning the matter, then I am going to set the bond violation at 2,500 cash surety, 10%. So, Mr. Peltola, those bonds are set. If you get out, you make sure to get in touch with your lawyer. If you're in
Can I say
custody,
something?
she'll be in touch with you. You may.
Yes. You know, I don't understand how I can tell you that I'm an American national and you can hold me in a county jail under bond, especially today when I was arrested on a larceny under $200. Somebody changed case prefixes and the warrant got dropped to a misdemeanor. And now you're still going to illegally hold me in a county jail under.
Now this guy wants all the charges dropped just because he calls himself an American nationalist, as if he knows better than the whole legal system. He claims the court is holding him illegally, yet is out committing crimes. How does he expect to demand his rights while breaking the law every chance he gets? Is he really this clueless, or is he trying to fool the judge? I can't figure it out.
All right, Mr. Peltola, I'm not going to argue with you. Your sovereign citizen has been noted for the record. In regard to the matter, you are under the order of the court. You're under the jurisdiction of the court. I decline to follow what your.
Can I at least tell you, admit I was arrested on a larceny charge that was dropped through a case prefix, UN, all incoming evidence. Can I at least have you admit that in the court of law that you guys illegally kidnapped me again with a larceny through John Rod D. Clark, Norway Police Department? Can I just have you admit that once?
No, Mr. Peltola, I don't even know what you're talking about. I will not admit that. Thank you to the jail. We are off the record on this matter.
The judge really should have set a higher bond for this guy. I feel like he'll just post bond and be back out causing trouble. Am I wrong for thinking he should stay in jail longer? He clearly doesn't take responsibility, and it's scary to think he could be out committing more crimes and spreading false ideas. It's like giving fire to someone who already burned a house down. Why risk it? It's not just about the crimes he's done, but what it says about the system. If someone keeps getting released without following the rules, it makes the system look bad. Should he get a longer sentence, or am I being too harsh? Let me know what you think. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.